If you ever wondered where Art Street, which used to be up the side of Mike's shopping mall, disappeared to, it came here. Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. This is the second in this new series of Streetsmart answers, where I try to give you the smartest answer I can to all the multiple questions which you've been asking me over the multiple videos, and we'll just dive in and do my best to answer as many questions as I can. So you saw where we started off, which is on Second Road opposite the base, and we're just going to walk north a little bit and then turn left to show you where Art Street moved to. I'm not sure how many of you remember, down the side of Mike's shopping mall there used to be a really interesting street called Art Street, which was just a walking street, and it had artists and tattoo artists, and it's actually ended up down here, which is Tip Plaza, at the back of Tip Plaza. So I'll have a wander down here. Anyway, about the discussion, the answers. Some of you have asked me, what is the 3-day rule, and what's it all about? Especially newbies. I mean, obviously the guys who've been here for a while, they know all about it. But basically, what it is, it's a protection against being sort of getting too emotionally involved for newbies. That's what it's for, because you get people come here, you guys come here for the first time, second time, third time, fourth time, fifth time. It takes a while to get over it, and you meet a girl and you start to get emotionally involved if you start seeing her again and again and again. Now, the 3-day rule, which in my opinion for a total newbie should actually be a 1-day rule. By the way, that's a nice pizzeria. It used to be a nice pizzeria. I had lots of capricciosas and marinaras there. Anyway, the whole object of this is that you do not see a girl for more than 3 days or 3 nights or 3 24-hour sessions, if you like. After that, you must break it and change to another girl. That's what it is about. And the reason is so that you don't get too emotionally involved. Because what happens is you get guys come here, and it doesn't matter how old the guy is. He could be like in his early 20s up to God knows what age. And they get bowled over, completely bowled over by the attention from young girls, reasonably young, attractive girls. I mean, if you're a young guy, the girl will be in her 20s. An older guy, the girl's probably going to be in her 30s or so. And they're just not used to it. Just not used to it. It's a complete shock, a culture shock, to come here and have this attention. And it just floors them. Let me stop the discussion here. I just want to show you this. This guy here, he's so talented. You very good.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much.
How about that? Isn't that good? No young people there, no modern people there. Just very old, a lot of older movie stars. But then again, the guy's older. So I suppose it's his generation, isn't it, really? How much are your painting, Taurai?
Right, yeah.
Yeah. For like Sylvester Stallone, there? Taurai.
All this size 3,000 baht.
3,000 baht, that size.
This size 3,000.
Okay, and this one?
This one,
John Wayne?
2,500 baht.
2,500.
2,500.
Okay.
Okay.
Great. Thank you. Thank you. Wonderful pictures. He's talented, isn't he? There's another one here. I'll just show you this as well while we're here. This guy does more cartoon type figures, if you look. Hi. Okay. Elvis Presley and the Stones. Very good. Very good. How much for a picture like this, Elvis Presley? เท่าไหร่ 2,500 baht. Great. Beautiful. Good job. Really good. Very good. This tattoo artist is good. A friend of mine had a tattoo done here a couple of years ago, and it's really good. Excellent. So let's go back to what we're talking about. This is all about getting involved. You need to be careful because these girls are experts. They know how to pull strings and tell you everything that you want to hear, that you've never heard before from other girls, often enough. It happens regularly that guys get bowled over by the first girl they meet. They have a really good night, and then they have another good night, and then another good night, and it just continues. And before you know it, the 2 weeks, 3 weeks, whatever the holiday length is gone with one single girl. And of course, in that time, you've got really involved, and then of course when a time comes to go home, it's difficult for the man. And the girl is sort of saying, "Oh, I'll miss you, and everything, and all that sort of thing." And I don't want to, work bar. I don't want to go with anybody else, and this can then end up in a sponsorship situation. Not what you want, to be honest with you. So, in order to avoid that situation, people suggested, why not have a 3-day rule where you change the girl every 3 days, no matter how much you like her. Look at that Harley there. No matter how much you like her, you change the girl every 3 days to avoid this happening. Because it ends up that she comes to the airport with you at the end of your holiday, just to make sure that you don't go with anybody else. She'll actually come to the airport in the taxi with you, and then get the taxi back to Pattaya, and then of course she'll start again with another guy the next day, and be telling you, "Oh, I miss you," and she's just off doing exactly the same thing with somebody else. That's what can happen, and does happen. It's not all the time, but 90% of the time. I mean, at the end of the day, what's she here for? She's here to make money for her family, and the family is all that matters. Her often has a child and to take care of, and their mother and the father and their grandmother and the grandfather and the cat and the dog and everything back in Isan. She needs your money to take care of them. Or if not your money, then somebody else's money, and so on. That's just the way it is. That's what the whole thing is set up for, as you know. So, 3-day rule, which I think for a complete newbie should be a 1-day rule, as I said before. Because in 3 days, it's long enough to get involved for a newbie. Absolutely long enough to get involved, and then they've had it. Once she gets her claws into you, if you want to put it that way. Anyway. That's what the 3-day rule is, and it's for your protection, and I think it should be a 1-day rule. Now, some other of you guys have asked me, what about girlfriend experience, GFE as they call it, which funnily enough is exactly the opposite of what we've just been talking about. The GFE is really for people who are experienced and know what the score is, and don't really get too bowled over too easily, because what that is you want the girl to behave not like, well, that's where Arch Street used to be at the side of the shopping mall there. Not behave like a working girl, but to behave like a girlfriend, and to be with you and go shopping, go eating, and treat you like a boyfriend. And some people really like that, and that's a girlfriend experience. And stay with the girl for a while. But you can't do that and then if you're the type of person who gets emotionally involved too easily. You can only do that, really, if you're the sort of person who's a little bit sort of harder or more experienced, I think. Otherwise, you'll end up being a sponsor. And that's a mug's game, in my opinion, often enough. I mean, obviously there are exceptions, but it's quite often not a good idea to be a sponsor. I did do some sponsorship videos, actually. I did 4 of them about 3 or 4 months ago. I'll put a link to the top and you can have a look at the first of the 4, and they're stories about sponsorship, and they're really interesting, so have a look at those. Anyway, GFE is girlfriend experience, where you have a proper, steady, close girlfriend with you for the time that you're there. And if you can do that, it's enjoyable, but only if you don't get too emotionally involved. Another question which you've asked is, can you bar find different girls from the same bar on different nights, like maybe consecutive nights even? Can you just go to the bar and bar find one girl, then bar find the one who is sitting next to her, standing next to her, and so on and so on? And the answer to that is probably no, unless you're up front at the very beginning, saying that when you first go to the bar, you chat to all the girls and say, I'm a butterfly, I don't have a girlfriend, I don't want one girlfriend, I want to take many ladies, and make it very clear that you are a butterfly, and you can then say, I want to take you, and then you, and then you, and is that okay? And the girls will be quite okay with that, because one reason: they won't lose face. Losing face is the worst thing. So if you did it the other way around, if you picked a particular girl and chatted her up and took her and everything, she basically claims you, gets dibs on you. You're her customer then. So if you then go back the next day and pick a different girl, she loses face. That's not acceptable in Thailand, to lose face. So if you make it clear at the very beginning, when you first approach the bar completely, that you are a butterfly and you want to take different girls, is that okay with them? All the girls will say yes, it's fine, because there's no losing face, and that's the only reason. Well, besides the fact that they lose your money, which is another factor. They don't want to lose your money, but losing face is even worse than losing the money. So that's another factor which you need to be aware of. Losing face. Don't put a girl in a position where she loses face, because she will not be happy with you. But yes, you can do it, but if you do it in the right way, as I explained. Okay. So another question is about massage shops, and which ones offer happy ending and which don't, and how do you know which is which and what have you, basically. Well, where they are is a big factor. If they're, and also what they look like and what the girls are dressed in is a huge factor. So for example, the ones on Second Road, they're big fancy places and they look nice, and there's an open glass front here, and there are big fancy chairs and everything, and the girls are all dressed in uniform. Those are proper massage places where they do proper Thai massage and everything. If you want oil massage, they can do it in the back, but you get a massage, and that's all you get as a rule in that type of place. So you just look at it, and if it looks reasonably like fancy looking, good looking, then it's probably a genuine massage place. Now, if you compare that to, for example, Soy Pothole or Soy Honey, or the ones on the third road off second road up near where Sabai Lodge used to be, up near the Siam. That type of place. For a start, the girls are not normally in uniform, or quite often not in a proper uniform, and the place looks a little bit like a down, sort of slightly more down market, more down a side street. That is the sort of place where you get the happy ending or more. So it's really, you get to learn. It's fairly obvious once you learn which is which, you know. This is behind me. I'll just turn around. Across the road is the Avenue shopping mall and cinema, and then that is Wonderful Bar, which was actually one of the first bars I ever came to. It's been going for years and years and years, that one. Okay, so let's move on to another question. So, can you use credit or debit cards from your own country in Thailand when you come to these bars and pay for drinks and this and that, or the go-go bars or the bars anywhere? And the answer is absolutely never do that. Never, 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 never. And I mean that. Never do that. Okay? Only places you ever can use a proper bank card, your own bank card, would be a chain hotel like Hilton or something like that you know you can trust, or something like a supermarket like Big C or something like that. That is the absolutely only place, or a bank, of course, to go and to get money out from an ATM inside a bank. Those are the only three places that you ever use your own personal credit, debit card, or whatever. Never, ever use it in any of these dodgy places like a go-go bar or whatever. Never, because they get cloned, or they'll run it through again. They'll make a copy of it and they'll run it through the following month. They'll just run it through again. When you're back home, you'll suddenly see something from a go-go bar in Pattaya appear on your statement, like after you've been home for a month, and think, what the hell? And what are you going to do about that? You're going to go to the bank and say, oh, this go-go bar in Pattaya that I went to, blah, 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 put money through. Well, that's Sportsman's. That's a really good place, by the way. Great breakfast there. Yeah, are you going to do that? Are you going to go to the bank and embarrass yourself? No, you're probably not. And also it can be much worse than that. It can actually clean your bank account out. So never, never, never use them. Okay? Yeah, have I said it enough? Never use them. Okay? Only use cash here. It's a cash society. And it probably will remain like that for a while. I mean, you get people using credit cards in Big C quite often. You get Thai people using debit cards in Big C. But only places like that. Never any of these dodgy places. And not even as an ordinary hotel. Only an international chain hotel, in my opinion. You can't even trust ordinary hotels with that sort of stuff. So anyway, that's a no-no. All right, you got that clear. Another question was, is there anywhere that you should not bar find a girl from? And the answer is yes, absolutely. If you're coming for a week or two, do not bar find a girl at the beginning of your holiday from any bar that's very near your hotel that you have to walk past whenever you are going back to the hotel, and you'll probably be taking a girl with you, because if you've bar find a girl from one of those bars, they'll get comments. There'll be various things said to the girl that you're walking back with later. So leave that to the end. If there's a girl you like at a bar near your hotel, then leave that till the last few days, and then do it then, and then after that you leave. Okay, you don't want to be walking past the hotel, the bar, back to your hotel with multiple girls getting multiple comments in Thai language that you don't understand. So tell me guys if you enjoyed the video and if it was helpful and if you'd like me to do some more. And please subscribe, like, share and ring the bell, and thank you very much for watching. See you in the next video.